After 75, 99% of deaths are due to these 5 causes. Have you ever paused in the middle of your day and caught yourself thinking, maybe I'm just tired, maybe it's normal at my age, only to lie awake later, staring at the ceiling, and feel that tiny knot of worry in your chest? Was that the beginning of something I could have prevented? Was my body quietly sending me a warning that I ignored? You're not alone. Most of us carry these silent fears like secret passengers on a long journey, tucked away behind polite smiles, hidden in the rhythm of busy routines, masked by our insistence that we're fine. But the truth is, as we grow older, our bodies begin to whisper warnings, subtle signals, almost imperceptible, like tiny cracks forming in the foundation of a house. The joints that ache after climbing a few stairs, the breath that catches after a short walk, the brief dizziness that you shrug off. These aren't just random annoyances. They are messages your body sends, tiny flashes of red you almost never notice, until one day, the quiet whispers swell into alarms that can't be ignored. And yet, too often, we dismiss them. It's fine. It'll pass. I've lived this long. We assume that slowing down, getting tired, or feeling off is just part of aging. We tell ourselves we're lucky to have lived this long and that worrying about these small things is unnecessary. But deep down, we sense there's more at stake than mere discomfort. There's the subtle fear that if we continue to ignore these whispers, our independence, our mobility, our very quality of life could quietly slip away, leaving us dependent, limited, and longing for the days when we could move freely without thinking twice. Here's a truth that's both sobering and empowering. The difference between a life of vibrant independence and one of struggle doesn't lie in fate, luck, or chance. It lies in the choices you make today, in the whispers you finally choose to listen to, and in the tiny, consistent decisions that quietly compound over months and years. It's not about dramatic overhauls or unattainable extremes. It's about subtle, deliberate actions that give your body a fighting chance to stay strong, resilient, and alive. Today, we're going to confront some uncomfortable realities, but not to scare you, to empower you. We're going to explore the 5 leading causes of death after 75, the ones responsible for nearly all fatalities in this age group, and more importantly, how you can fight back against them. Not with miracles or magic solutions, but with small, intentional steps that put you firmly back in the driver's seat of your own life. Because the moments you take now, listening, acting, caring, can echo for decades to come, shaping a future where age is not a limit, but a stage of life you navigate with strength, dignity, and freedom. Number 1. Heart disease. The silent betrayer. Picture your heart for a moment. Not as a symbol in a card, not as a line in a poem, but as a quiet, tireless engine, working endlessly behind the scenes. Every beat is a testament to resilience, a pulse that carries life through every fiber of your being. And yet, how often do we stop to honor it? How often do we take for granted this relentless engine, assuming it will keep running no matter what we do or don't do? You might notice yourself feeling a little winded climbing stairs. You brush it off. Perhaps you're slower than you used to be, or you find yourself resting a little more often. You shrug it away, thinking, it's just aging, nothing to worry about. But these are not merely signs of getting older. They are whispers from a muscle that's silently overworked, undernourished, and quietly accumulating strain over decades. Each unnoticed heartbeat of stress, each meal that doesn't nourish, each hour spent sitting rather than moving. These are the small debts your heart quietly collects. High blood pressure is one of the most insidious threats, like an invisible hand squeezing your arteries day after day, year after year, forcing your heart to work harder than it was designed to. It doesn't announce itself with pain or drama. There are no flashing red lights. There are only subtle warnings that can be so easy to miss, until suddenly, without warning, a heart attack or stroke erupts, breaking through your life with sudden, merciless force. Then there's diet. Oh, diet. Decades of convenience foods, hidden salts, refined sugars, and cheap fats can feel like a slow, almost imperceptible betrayal. But this isn't just about avoiding the wrong foods. It's about actively feeding the right ones. Vibrant vegetables that pulse with life, rich proteins that repair and strengthen, heart-healthy fats that lubricate every beat. Think of it as oiling your engine, keeping each piston firing smoothly, each valve opening freely. Every thoughtful choice fuels resilience. Every nourishing meal is a quiet act of love toward the organ that keeps you alive. Movement is your secret ally, your unsung act of devotion. Your heart isn't meant to sit idle, dormant like a seed in winter. Gentle walks, stretching routines, even a few chair exercises are more than physical activity. They're whispers of care, signals to your heart that you are present, attentive, and committed to its health. Each step strengthens circulation. Each motion preserves flexibility. Each moment of effort compounds over weeks and months into a fortified, resilient heart. Stress, too, is a thief in plain sight. Those endless responsibilities, the little worries, the quiet anxieties, your heart feels them all. Mindful moments, meditation, laughter, deep breathing, these are not luxuries. They are essential contributions to the harmony of your heart, shields against the strain that otherwise builds silently inside. Remember this: heart disease is not inevitable. It does not have to be your destiny. Your heart listens. Every choice you make, every meal, every step, every moment you care for yourself, these are not small acts. They are strokes of power, acts of stewardship over the very engine that keeps you alive. The life you want, the freedom to move, laugh, and embrace each day. These all begin with the quiet but profound decisions you make today. Number 2, falls and injuries. When gravity turns against you. Think about this. One simple misstep, one moment of dizziness, one slippery floor, and suddenly your world tilts in an instant. A fall isn't just a stumble, it's a fracture of more than bone. It's a fracture of independence, confidence, and the life you've carefully built over decades. I want you to imagine Margaret, a vibrant woman of 78. She lived in the same home she and her husband raised their family in. Every corner held memories: the kitchen where laughter echoed, the garden where she spent mornings tending roses. One morning, reaching for a book on a high shelf, she lost her balance. A fall, a hip fracture, months in bed, loss of independence, and most painfully, the quiet fear that began to creep in afterward. A fear of moving, of living fully, of being herself again. As we age, our muscles gradually weaken, our reflexes slow, and our sense of balance subtly diminishes. The changes are so slow, so quiet, that we barely notice them. We walk through our days thinking we're steady, safe, capable, until the moment we are not. One tiny misstep, 1 second of unawareness, and life can change forever. What makes this even more insidious is the fear that follows. After a fall, or even a near miss, many people begin to shrink themselves. They stop taking the stairs, avoid walks they once loved, sidestep adventures that once brought joy. The body in turn becomes weaker from inactivity, making the next fall even more likely. It's a cruel cycle. Fear leads to inaction. Inaction leads to weakness. Weakness leads to vulnerability. But here's the truth. Falls are not inevitable. They are not destiny. They are challenges that can be anticipated, prepared for, and dramatically reduced with small, deliberate steps. Strengthen your legs, your core, your sense of balance. Small exercises done consistently are more than physical. They are statements to your body. I will not surrender. I will remain strong. I will remain independent. Your home can be your fortress, rather than a minefield. Better lighting, slip-resistant rugs, sturdy handrails. These small adjustments protect you quietly but powerfully. Even your medications can have hidden risks, causing dizziness or low blood pressure. Being mindful, speaking to your doctor, adjusting routines. These are acts of vigilance that can preserve your freedom. A fall isn't just a trip. It's a message. It's a reminder that your body is a living system that requires attention, care, and respect. By listening to it, by nurturing strength, by taking simple precautions, you preserve more than bones. You preserve your life as you know it, mobile, independent, capable of experiencing joy, laughter, and freedom without fear. The moment you begin acting, no matter how small the step, is the moment you reclaim power over gravity, over risk, and over the life you refuse to let slip away. Number 3. Respiratory diseases. When every breath becomes precious, take a moment and feel your chest rise and fall. Each inhale, each exhale, a rhythm so constant, so ordinary, that we hardly notice it. And yet, what if one day that rhythm falters? What if each breath begins to feel heavier, harder, more fragile? For many people over 75, this quiet vulnerability is not just a possibility, it's a reality. Imagine Mr. Thompson, an 80-year-old retired teacher who spent decades outdoors tending to his garden. One morning, he wakes with a slight cough, a faint wheeze that he dismisses as just a cold. Days later, the cough worsens, his chest feels tight, and he finds himself short of breath after walking across the room. What started as a minor irritation now threatens his independence, his confidence, even his life. Chronic respiratory conditions like COPD, emphysema, or chronic bronchitis act silently, slowly tightening their grip. Every shallow breath, every overlooked cough, every wheezing sound is a whisper your lungs send, a plea that often goes unheard. We tell ourselves these symptoms are just aging, ignoring the fact that our lungs, like any other vital organ, need care, attention, and movement to remain strong. And then there's pneumonia, the quiet predator. What may begin as a mild cold, a small chest congestion, can spiral quickly into a dangerous, life-altering illness for older adults. As our immune systems weaken, infections that once would have been minor now have the power to hospitalize, to debilitate, or worse. It's terrifying because it strikes suddenly, often without much warning, leaving us scrambling to regain control over something as fundamental as our own breath. The environment we live in also plays a silent role. Years of exposure to dust, pollution, secondhand smoke, or even indoor irritants like mold and pet dander quietly erode lung health. These invisible threats accumulate over decades, making each breath a little more labored, each day a little more taxing. But here's the hope. Your lungs respond to care and movement just like the rest of your body. Gentle exercise, even simple walks, stretches, or light breathing exercises strengthens the lungs, improves circulation, and keeps the respiratory system functioning at its best. Vaccinations, flu shots, pneumonia vaccines, boosters are not just routine. They are acts of preservation, shields against potential devastation. Your breath is life itself. When it feels effortless, we take it for granted. When it struggles, the fear is palpable, almost existential. The power lies in preparation, vigilance, and consistent care. Each conscious breath, each step you take to strengthen your lungs, each small adjustment to your environment is a gift to yourself, a reclamation of freedom, of mobility, of life, unencumbered by the fragility of the breath we too often ignore. Remember this. Every inhale is precious. Every exhale is a triumph. By listening to your lungs, responding to their whispers, and nurturing them through movement, clean air, and preventive care, you are investing in the very foundation of your independence and longevity. Your breath, after all, is the most intimate companion you will ever have. It deserves your attention, your love, and your vigilance. Number 4. Stroke. Life changed in an instant. A stroke doesn't give warnings like a ticking clock. It doesn't announce itself politely. One moment, life flows as it always has. Your thoughts are clear, your hands steady, your voice familiar. And the next, it can feel as though a storm has ripped through your body, leaving chaos in its wake. A stroke is sudden, relentless, life-altering. Think of it like a river running through your brain, your memories, your abilities, your very sense of self flowing smoothly. Then, without warning, a dam bursts, flooding part of that river, silencing the currents you once took for granted. Words stumble, hands falter, your balance shifts. For millions, the aftermath isn't just physical, it's emotional, a quiet grief for the independence and confidence that once felt effortless. High blood pressure, irregular heart rhythms, diabetes, and lifestyle factors quietly set the stage over years. They are invisible currents beneath calm waters, building tension that most of us never feel until the dam breaks. And yet, so many strokes are preventable. So many could be avoided by the choices we make long before the storm. Early warning signs can be subtle: a fleeting numbness in a finger, a sudden droop in a smile, difficulty finding words. But we often brush them off, thinking, it'll pass. It's nothing. And in that dismissal lies the danger. Listening to your body, acknowledging the whispers before they become crises, can be the difference between a quick recovery and months or years of struggle. Lifestyle choices, managing blood pressure, keeping active, eating mindfully, controlling stress, aren't just health advice. They are armor, shields against the invisible forces that threaten your brain and body. Even simple habits, like taking a short daily walk or committing to regular checkups, compound into protection over time, quietly fortifying the very organ that holds your thoughts, memories, and personality. The reality is sobering. A stroke can strip away abilities in an instant, but it is not an inevitable fate. Awareness, vigilance, and proactive care are powerful tools. They remind us that the body is not just a passive vessel. It responds, adapts, and heals when given the attention it deserves. Consider your brain as a library of your life. Every memory, skill, conversation, and laugh carefully catalogued. A stroke is not just a medical event, it is an invasion that threatens to steal pages from that story. But by listening, by acting early, by caring for your heart and your circulation, you protect your library, your story, and your independence. Takeaway: a stroke is sudden, yes, but preparation, awareness, and action are your allies. The small, deliberate choices you make every day, checking your blood pressure, staying active, monitoring your health, are the quiet yet powerful defenses that allow you to keep writing your story on your terms, full of movement, thought, and life, without surrendering to fear. Number 5. Cancer. The silent challenger, cancer is a quiet intruder. It doesn't knock politely at the door of your life. Often it creeps in silently, planting seeds long before you even notice its presence. And yet, its threat is very real, especially after 75. But here's a truth that is both sobering and empowering. Cancer is not always inevitable. Awareness, vigilance, and timely action can change its course and protect your life and independence. Imagine Helen, a woman of 76, who spent her days painting, reading, and nurturing her grandchildren. One routine checkup revealed a shadow on her scan, something she never imagined. In that moment, fear could have paralyzed her. But instead, Helen chose awareness over denial, action over despair. Through early detection, attentive care, and the support of her medical team, she found a path forward that preserved both her health and her freedom. The danger with cancer isn't just the disease itself, it's the invisible time it takes to grow. Symptoms often appear subtly, almost innocuously. A persistent fatigue, a small, unexplained pain, a change in appetite. It's easy to dismiss these signals as normal aging, but your body is always trying to communicate, whispering warnings that require attention, curiosity, and respect. Screenings, routine exams, and honest conversations with your healthcare team are acts of courage. They are not about fear. They are about reclaiming power over your own story. Every mammogram, colonoscopy, skin check, or blood test is like shining a flashlight into a dark corner, illuminating threats before they grow into crises. Lifestyle choices compound in subtle but powerful ways. A balanced diet, regular movement, and avoiding known carcinogens are more than just healthy habits. They are armor against an unpredictable opponent. Every nourishing meal, every step you take, every moment you prioritize your health quietly tilts the balance in your favor, strengthening your resilience and giving your body a fighting chance. Cancer may feel like a shadow stretching across your life, but light is always possible. The small actions you take, early detection, preventive care, conscious living, are torches you hold to illuminate the path ahead. They allow you to reclaim agency in a situation that can often feel uncontrollable, to face the challenge not as a victim, but as a proactive guardian of your own body and life. Takeaway: cancer is a silent challenger, but it does not have to be undefeatable. Knowledge, vigilance, and timely action are your greatest tools. Every conscious choice, every checkup, every preventive step is a declaration that your life, independence, and freedom are worth fighting for. By responding to the whispers of your body today, you create the possibility of many more tomorrows, full of vitality, presence, and the moments that truly matter. Conclusion: taking back your power. As we've journeyed through these 5 silent challenges: heart disease, falls and injuries, respiratory illnesses, stroke, and cancer, it becomes clear that aging isn't just about the passage of time. It's about the choices we make in response to the whispers of our bodies, the subtle signals that demand attention, and the quiet courage it takes to act before it's too late. Every heartbeat, every step, every breath, every thoughtful decision is a moment of power. Aging doesn't have to mean surrendering to fear, weakness, or dependence. It can be a stage of life filled with resilience, independence, and a richness that comes from truly listening to your body and honoring it with care. The truth is this: prevention isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about small, consistent actions that build up over time. Choices that protect your heart, strengthen your muscles, fortify your lungs, safeguard your brain, and guard against hidden threats like cancer. These choices are your quiet rebellion against the statistics, your declaration that age will not define your vitality, your freedom, or your joy. You don't have to navigate this journey alone. Join a community that understands, supports, and empowers you. Join Echoes of Elderly Wisdom, where experience meets insight, where shared stories become guidance, and where you can learn the practical, compassionate strategies to stay strong, independent, and fully alive well into your later years. Because the whispers of your body are not warnings of inevitable decline. They are invitations. Invitations to act, to listen, to nurture, and to protect the life you still have the power to shape. The choices you make today, one small step, one mindful meal, one moment of care, could echo for decades, preserving not just your life, but your freedom, your independence, and your ability to embrace every day with confidence and joy. So take a deep breath, feel your heart, stand tall, move deliberately, and remember, your body is speaking to you. Will you listen? Will you act? Join Echoes of Elderly Wisdom today, and let's honor our bodies, our lives, and the years ahead together.